Hey everybody, today I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan on how to completely transform your body and your life in 6 months. Now this is some serious Alex Hormozy stuff here, so buckle up. Every single one of us wants to change, to become a better, stronger, more accomplished version of ourselves. But very few of us are willing to take the necessary steps to make that change. With a plan in place and 6 months of moving with purpose and executing that plan at the highest level, you can look back and barely recognize yourself. Most people will waste 6 months without even realizing it, like it might as well be 6 minutes. They do it by drifting from one thing to another, letting distractions steal their time, and starting things that they don't finish. But when you do this and learn how momentum works, if you can learn to focus and fully commit, you'll experience breakthroughs that seemed impossible at one time. Imagine if you could just make the decision right now that for the next 6 months, you're going to completely lock in and dedicate yourself to your training program, to hitting your macros, to your steps, to getting sufficient sleep, to recovery. Eliminate all distractions that pull you away from that focus and give 6 months of regular, steady, intense, and sustained focus on that goal. Think about where you would be in those 6 months. How much stronger, how much leaner, how much healthier, how much more respect you would have wherever you go. Now, if you're like most people, you probably don't ask yourself these questions, but you dream about what things might be like if only your circumstances were different, if only you had more time. And you tell yourself that one day when things are right, when the circumstances are right, you're going to do this. But the truth is, one day is never. Without that commitment, the 6 months is going to pass, and you'll look back and you'll be exactly where you are right now, only 6 months older. So if you want to succeed and rise to the top above everyone else, you need to understand that every wasted moment is a moment that you never get back. This plan is not about motivation. It's not about feeling inspired for a few days and then falling off track. This is a system, a structured step-by-step plan that if you follow, will guarantee your success. This is going to force you to grow, to evolve, to push past those limitations that you have in your mind. We are going to transform your body, your habits, your discipline, your mindset, and your results. So step one, first thing you need to do is take full responsibility for where you are right now. No more blaming circumstances, no more blaming your past or your environment. You must accept that your current situation is a result of the decisions that you've made up to this point. If you are not where you want to be, it's because your decisions have led you to this point. And if you want to transform your life in the next 6 months, you need to start making better decisions today. So I'm going to talk a lot about setting yourself apart. And the truth is, it's not hard to set yourself apart. You just need to be willing to do the things that most people won't do. Most people look to just get by in life, and they don't want to do the things that it takes to accomplish great things. And this is the first area that you're going to set yourself apart, because most people are not willing to take responsibility for their current situation. They blame their upbringing, their environment, the people around them, and they convince themselves that they are stuck because of external forces. But I want you to shed that way of thinking. I need you to understand that no matter what has happened up to this point, you are in charge of what happens next. You're not going to put any more focus on what you can't change. You are only going to focus on those things that you can control, that are within your control. You're going to adopt the mindset that your results, your progress, your habits, your success are all your responsibility. If something in your training, your nutrition, your lifestyle is not working, it's your responsibility to fix it. If you are not where you want to be, it's your responsibility to take the necessary steps to fix it and to get there. If you are not where you want to be, it's your responsibility to take the necessary steps to start moving towards that goal. So step two, the next thing you need to do is get crystal clear on your goals. Most people will fail at this because they don't have a clear target. A lot of guys will say they want to get bigger, get stronger, put on size, get leaner, whatever the goal may be, but rarely do they know what that looks like. If you do not have a precise, measurable goal, rarely are you going to see progress. So ask yourself, where do I want to be 6 months from now? What do I want to look like? What do I want to perform like? What do I want my lifts to be? What do I want my body fat to be? And if you don't have a number in mind, create a visual. Pick a celebrity or an athlete that you think that you can closely emulate. For me, it was always Tom Hardy. That was my either Bane or in Warrior. Same height, approximately, same sort of body style. That's kind of what I pictured for myself. So pick somebody that you think you can emulate and shoot for that. Get super clear on what it is you want. Visualize it and then shoot for it every single day. Vague goals create vague results. You need a target that is so clear that there is zero confusion about what you are working towards. Next thing you need to do, once you have your goals set, you need to make a plan. My dad used to always say this to me growing up. He had a saying that he always threw out to me. Plan your work, then work your plan. Setting goals is not enough. The difference between you and everyone else is that you are creating a roadmap, not just setting goals. And you are breaking those goals down into monthly, weekly, and daily actions. If your goal is to get into the best shape of your life in 6 months, what does that require on a daily basis? What's your training schedule going to be? How many steps per day? How many calories? How many hours of sleep? You need to be hyper specific about what needs to be done every single day so that you can take a few steps towards that goal. And once you've accomplished that, you need to execute relentlessly. Be mindful that this is the point where most people fail. They make goals, set a plan, but fail to follow through. They let distractions get in the way. They let emotions dictate their actions and let inconsistency ruin their progress. Now, I'm going to put a pin in this at this point because we're going to come back to this and talk a little bit more about it in the final step. So now we're at step 4. The next thing you need to do is establish complete control over your time. You can set all the goals you want, but without controlling your time, your days are going to get eaten up by distractions and things that don't matter. If you don't control your time, someone else will. If you allow that to happen, before you know it, 6 months will have passed and you'll be in the same spot you're always in. So every day you're going to wake up and you're going to have a system and structure in place and consider every moment as one that serves your purpose and allows you to get closer to your goal. Treat every single hour of your day like a valuable resource. So this means setting boundaries, eliminating wasted time, refusing to engage in anything that pulls you away from your vision. Because you got to think about this. Every single thing that you do is either moving you closer to or pulling you further away from your goal. There is no neutral because time is moving on. And if it's moving on and you're not working at it, it's moving on without you. So always ask yourself, with everything you do, always ask yourself, is this helping me get closer to or further away from my goal? Now, if you've ever tried anything like this before and failed, it's likely that you started with very high motivation, but then got distracted and lost focus and allowed yourself to be pulled in all sorts of different directions with distractions. Wasted hours doing things that don't matter, and because of that, you lost momentum, lost focus, and fell back into your old ways. But that's the old you. This version of you is going to focus, we're going to have a plan, we're going to stick to it and succeed. So, this means waking up at the same time every day, going to bed at the same time every night, waking up, maximizing your mornings to set you up for success, training days or not. You're going to dedicate blocks of time towards everything that you need, including your training, your meal prep, active recovery. You're not going to allow meaningless distractions to interfere with that schedule. And you're going to stick with it no matter what. Because trust me, once you start negotiating with yourself and making exceptions and skipping things because you don't feel like doing it, that's when you lose. That's where you start backsliding into the old version of yourself. So this isn't about working any harder. This is about working smarter and eliminating wasted time and effort and focusing only on those things that matter and those things that are going to move the needle. So there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Going to the gym is one thing, but filling your training time with things that don't move you forward tricks you into thinking you're making progress, when in reality you're just staying in motion without actually moving forward. Every action you take needs to be intentional, Every effort needs to be measured. Every single thing that you do needs to be something that serves your mission. If it doesn't serve your mission, cut it out. And this is where your biggest breakthrough will happen, because you will realize how much of your time is being wasted. What gets measured gets managed. And when you start tracking your days and measuring your time, you will see how much of your time gets wasted. And you will see that you have far more time than you think. You're just not using it correctly. So now that you've taken full control of your time, the next thing you need to do is master discipline. Have you ever known someone like this? They have all the motivation in the world. They set goals, they make plans, but they don't have the discipline to follow through. They rely on being motivated to do the work. You will set yourself apart when you do what needs to be done, whether or not you feel like it. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not intelligence, it's pure discipline. It's that relentless drive to do what needs to be done. And once you get into the habit of acting without hesitation, you will really fast track your results, because now you've removed your need to find motivation, and this makes you unstoppable. Again, this is another area where you will set yourself apart. Most people don't get to this point because they can't push past that discomfort. They can't push past that resistance. They let discomfort stop them, and they think they need to wait for the perfect circumstances. They let small things distract them and break their momentum, or they simply quit when things get hard. You need to seek that discomfort, because this is where growth happens. The people that really set themselves apart thrive in that discomfort. They understand that fear and discomfort, those things don't matter. The only thing that matters is executing their plan. Your actions aren't going to be based on how you feel in the moment, only on what needs to be done. So, this means waking up when you said you will without hitting snooze. It means going to bed at the same time every night. It means hitting the gym and training, even if your body is tired. It means tracking your macros, even if you don't feel like it. You do it, not because you're motivated, but because it needs to be done. And what you will learn by doing this is that motion creates emotion. You don't wait to feel good before doing something. You do it first, then the feeling follows. So this is why the first 30 days of this plan will be the hardest, because your mind will resist and want to quit. Your old habits are going to fight you on this. Your old habits are going to resist and fight you, and they're going to want to pull you back to what you know. You're going to try and find every excuse in your mind to quit and go back to the old you. But if you can keep your eye on that prize, this is where you set yourself apart from everyone else. Every time you push through that resistance and do what needs to be done, no matter how you feel, you build a trust in yourself. Every time you show up to the gym when it would be easier to stay home, you create momentum. What we are doing here is training yourself to execute like a machine. And once you master discipline, you will never have to rely on motivation again. It will be automatic. The moment you stop relying on motivation and execute because it's a habit, you win. So for the next 6 months, if something needs to be done, you do it whether or not you feel like it. You set a goal and you follow through and you execute until it's done, no matter what. And I promise you, if you build this level of discipline and commit to this level of execution, in 6 months you won't even recognize the current version of yourself. Step 6, the next thing you need to do: raise your standards in every area of your life. The discipline we just talked about is not enough on its own. You can be consistent and show up every day, but if you're doing kid stuff, you're never going to reach your full potential. I talked about this in my video about not wasting your time in the gym with silly bullshit and kid stuff, and actually learning to lift. One of the first lectures that my clients get when they're training with me is to get their expectations up. We're not here to just go through the motions. You're not going to just work hard. You're going to work at the highest level possible. Many people stay stuck because they convince themselves that they are doing enough, but really what they're doing is just what's comfortable. They may be putting in effort, but not the kind of effort that transforms. That requires you getting uncomfortable. You need to get your expectations up and demand the best from yourself if you want to break through. What you tolerate becomes your reality. If you tolerate excuses, you'll make them. If you tolerate mediocrity, you'll stay average. If you tolerate half effort, you'll never see full results. But if you raise your standards and demand excellence from yourself in everything you do, everything changes. You want to develop an elite mindset by not settling and not cutting corners and not allowing yourself to move at the same speed as everyone else. You're going to operate above that standard by training harder, training smarter, by meal prepping, by prioritizing sleep, by doing the things that 99% of other people are not willing to do. You're going to demand more from yourself than anyone else ever would. And because of that, you're going to rise to the top above everyone else. So for the next 6 months, you must raise your standards in your training, in your discipline, in your habits, in your mindset, in your physical and mental toughness. You're going to get your expectations up and hold yourself to a standard of excellence that is going to force you to grow. This means no more going to the gym and just going through the motions. No more meal prepping if you feel like it, but eating whatever you want if you don't. It means going all in, prioritizing sleep, not taking days off, but taking active recovery days. If you used to set smaller goals, start by setting huge ones. Because the growth that you need is only going to happen when you are outside of your comfort zone. If you are not uncomfortable, you are not growing. If you're not being challenged, you're not improving. If you're not struggling, you're not evolving. Comfort is the enemy of progress. And if you're going to change your life in 6 months, you must seek out discomfort and do the things, push yourself to be challenged every day. Step 7, you're going to build a rock solid mindset. The success you're going to achieve is not just about working harder and grinding every day. It's about building a mindset so strong that nothing can shake you. You aren't going to allow yourself to give in to doubt or surrender to fear or to get distracted by obstacles. If your mind is weak, you will never reach your full potential. If you let fear control you and small obstacles discourage you and what other people think affect you, you will never stay consistent long enough to see results. One of the most amazing benefits you will find when you start strength training is that when you strengthen the body, the mind will follow. So by strengthening your body, you're going to build the mental toughness that allows you to push through no matter what. By strengthening your body, you're going to build the mental toughness that allows you to keep moving forward no matter what. You will face challenges over the next 6 months. You will have challenges where every fiber of your being wants to quit or wants to slow down. But this is where you separate yourself. What do you do when things get hard? A weak mind breaks. It starts looking for excuses and blaming circumstances. A strong mind keeps moving forward and doesn't worry about small things. It doesn't feel sorry for itself. It just keeps going no matter what. This is the mindset that you're going to adopt. One that doesn't let anything stop you. Not pain, not fear, not doubt, not criticism, nothing. You need to be intentional about what you allow into your head. You need to remove negative thoughts the minute they appear. You're going to refuse to give any power to fear, doubt, or hesitation. Your mind controls your reality. If you believe that you will succeed, you will. If you believe that you're going to be unstoppable and nothing in this world is going to stop you, then nothing will. But if you let doubt in, even for a second, and let a little bit of fear take up space in your head, and you hesitate, that's all it takes for weakness to creep in. And when weakness enters your mind, it spreads. So protect your mindset like your life depends on it. Eliminate negativity. If something does not serve your growth, it does not belong in your mind. People who are around you who try to affect you and pull you back down so that they can feel comfortable, remove them from your life. Your environment is another key. If it's filled with distractions and keeping you from operating at the highest level, you need to change it. Your life is a reflection of your mind. If your mind is weak, your results will be weak. If it's strong, your results will be strong. So keep in mind, for the next 6 months, we're going to train your mind with the same intensity that we're training your body. You are going to put yourself in positions that make you uncomfortable and force you to grow. Just like strengthening the body, the only way to strengthen your mind is through resistance. You do this by pushing through the things that would break most people, by seeking out things that make you uncomfortable and putting yourself in positions that test your limits. And the more you do this, the stronger you become. So we touched on this earlier. This is the final piece of your plan. Relentless execution. All the discipline in the world means nothing without action. You can have all the right thoughts, the right habits, the right strategies, but if you do not execute on them consistently, they mean nothing. Overthinking and hesitation are going to be our biggest enemies here. We aren't waiting for the perfect moment to act. We are not going to tell ourselves that we need more time, more information, more preparation. We're going to put a plan in place. We aren't going to plan but never move, and because of that, stay stuck. You could potentially waste years waiting for conditions to be perfect. So what we're going to do for the next 6 months is become an execution machine. No waiting, no hesitating. If something needs to be done, you do it immediately. This is going to be by far the biggest shift for you. This is the thing that really moves you forward. This is how you make that progress in a short time like 6 months. By moving, not when you feel ready, not when conditions are perfect, but taking action right now, even if you don't have all the answers or feel 100% prepared. Even if you're scared shitless and don't feel 100% confident, action kills that fear. This builds confidence and creates momentum. People think that you need to feel confident to take action, but the action is what creates that confidence and allows you to keep going. The confidence comes from the doing, not the thinking. The more you act, the more you push yourself, the more you step into the unknown, the stronger you will become. And before you know it, those things that once felt impossible will now be easy. The transformation really happens here because pushing through that fear and hesitation and building that confidence, execution becomes your new default setting. I promise you, if you do this, you will never go back to that person that you used to be, that let fear and hesitation and overthinking slow them down. So there are your steps to transformation. Now the only thing to do is follow through on them. Because with this next 6 months of extreme focus, eliminating distractions, and executing every single day, you will be years ahead of where you are now in just 6 months. Now, if you need help executing this plan, there's a link down below. You can hop on a free call with me and we can develop a plan together, put together a game plan just for you, and map out the next 6 months of your training and your progress. There's also a link to a free guide down below. You can grab that, check that out. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.